Well, Pastor Dalrock writes another article about St. George and the Dragon, an old knight's tale. And he says that courtly love started out as a game or as a parody of Christianity. And in the parody, God's love was exchanged for romantic or sexual love. And women became the object of worship instead of God. But the form of worship still remains the same, just the worship was redirected away from God. Philippians 2 says that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow and every tongue confess. And chivalry, courtly, romantic love takes that kind of love and devotion and directs it, instead of being towards God, directs it towards women. This is why we have the custom now of singing songs in praise of romantic love and of women, and even a man getting down on one knee and confessing his love and devotion to a woman. And so he says that it started as a game, as a parody of Christianity, but sadly, Christians began adopting this parody in place of the real thing. Today, this substitution is nearly complete, but the process began a long time ago, even back in the Middle Ages, with the tradition of chivalry and courtly love. And so he says one way that we see this amazing transformation where romantic sexual love replaces Christianity is in the story of St. George and the Dragon. Now, he says very little is known about the actual St. George, who was a knight, and somehow he was sainted by the church way back in the day. But even the Pope said that George is one of those saints whose names are rightly reverenced among us, but whose actions are known only to God. So again, there's not really a whole lot known, but there was a story made up surrounding St. George, this famous knight who fights the dragon. So he says the story of St. George and the Dragon is rich with symbols of the religion that replaced Christianity, the religion of courtly love. This version comes from the Golden Legend, which is an anthology compiled by the Archbishop Jacobus Vorgane around 1275. And in the Golden Legend, St. George slays a dragon to rescue a beautiful princess and convert a pagan kingdom to Christianity, which is, that's a pretty cool tale. That's all right. St. George manages to wound the dragon in the tail with a lance, and after making the sign of the cross with his sword, he wounds them, but he needs something more powerful than reflecting Christ in the cross to control this dragon. And so here's where the story takes a turn for the worse. This powerful thing came in the form of a virgin princess's girdle, which a girdle is an exterior belt. And this represents a noble woman's sexual purity. Once the noble woman's girdle was placed on the dragon's neck in the tail, the dragon was tamed, and the princess, not St. George the knight, the princess leads the wicked dragon back into town. Now, once back in town, St. George offers to slay the dragon if the kingdom converted to Christianity. And after the kingdom converts to Christianity, then George keeps his promise and he slays the dragon. And so we note, though, in this classic tale of knightly chivalry, whatever, that the girdle of the woman, the symbol of her purity, is what gives the knight the power to slay the dragon. Not only is the dragon subdued by the power of the noble woman's sexual purity, but St. George symbolically has to win the noble woman's favor in order to convert the kingdom to Christianity and do God's will. It says in 1350, King Edward III made George the patron saint of England. This guy becomes the patron saint of England. And this coincides then with Edward III creating the Order of the Garter. Now, I made a video about the Order of the Garter. And the motto of the Order of the Garter is I'm not going to say it in Latin because I don't know how to say that in Latin, but it means shame on him who thinks evil of it, meaning the garter. And so this is the highest order of chivalry in England, and it's directly tied to the themes of courtly love and romantic love, adulterous love, really, as I've talked about. He says the reason that we don't notice that these two are entwined so much is because we struggle to distinguish between courtly love now and Christianity, or romantic love and true biblical Christianity. Anyway, we got to get this turned around. Even with all that, Christ is winning. He is building his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. Until next time, this is the Postmillennial Man.